People ask me, doctor, should I avoid eating starches because they get converted to sugar and I'm trying to lose weight? And I tell them, well, that's only half of the truth. So let me explain. First, let's talk about what starches are. And this is an analogy I use when I explain it to people in clinics. Think of the oil we pump out of the ground here in California. The oil or the petroleum cannot be used to move your car. You have to refine it into gasoline. If it's not refined into gasoline, it's useless. It's not going to work. Although oil is the primary energy source. Now for humans, we kind of do the same thing. We convert everything into glucose. That's the only kind of energy our cells can use to function. So whether I eat lettuce or donuts or some fried chicken, whatever, fish, you convert it all into glucose. Now some foods are higher in sugar. That's what they call a higher glycemic index. And some foods are lower in sugar. That's called a low glycemic index. So a donut would be high, so a lot of sugar. A steak would be low. It has very little sugar, if any. But again, all of it will be converted into a usable type of energy, which is glucose. That's what we do with gasoline. Gasoline only comes from petroleum, unless you make out of ethanol like corn. But either way, it has to be refined. Now, in humans, when we get too much glucose, we use it all day for taking a shower, getting dressed, going to work, brush our teeth, whatever we do, studying. That uses up all that energy, the glucose, just like a car would use the gasoline to go to market. At the end of the day or throughout the day, if you ate too many calories and you have too much glucose, your body turns it into this, body fat. And we're all trying to get rid of this. If anybody wants this, you can have it. So we don't want extra body fat. But we like to eat. It's fun to eat. It's fun to eat, whatever you like to eat, donuts or, salads or tuna fish sandwiches or whatever. So that's basically how we accumulate fat. We eat too many calories, we get too much energy, and if we don't use it all, it gets stored as fat, okay? And calories, that word basically means energy. It's a unit of energy. When I was in school, we would get food and you actually burn it inside of a little machine called a calorimeter. And it measures how much heat it makes. And that heat determines how many calories that food has. So you burn a donut and it tells you how many calories, or an apple or an orange or some asparagus. And the amount of heat it creates is the amount of energy. So calorie, the word calorie just means a unit of energy, kind of like kilowatts or watts in a light bulb or electrical system in your house. So we use calories all day, every time I move. To move my arm, I need energy to move, or I can't move, I'll just lay there. I've seen patients in the hospital that are so weak, they can't lift their arms, okay? Because they don't have any energy, or they may have other problems, but sometimes it's because of energy. So it's a unit of energy. Now, like I said, if we consume too many calories, which is glucose, the energy source, we make it the body fat. Plants make energy out of sunlight. They go through a process called photosynthesis. That creates the energy for the plant. And if they don't use it all, some plants, as a survival mechanism, which they've developed over time, they save it, like potatoes or rice or carrots. Starch is actually just a chain of sugar. So is it sugar? Yeah, it's sugar, but it's condensed sugar. So it's actually higher in energy than regular sugar, starch. Just like fat is higher in energy than glucose because it's condensed glucose, it's concentrated. So what are the most common starchy foods that people eat? Corn, potatoes, beans, rice, pasta. Those are probably 5 of the most common ones that people eat. When you eat starches, your normal physiology, it automatically breaks those chains and breaks it down into glucose, because that's what you can actually use in your body. So why do starches get churned into sugar? Well, they actually don't get churned into sugar. They are sugar. They're just compressed together. They're a chain. So basically the enzymes in your body break those chains and separate the pieces of the starch and make it into sugars that you can actually turn into glucose, use in your body as energy. And when you have too much of that left over, you go through a process called lipogenesis, and it creates body fat. So how do humans store energy? They predominantly store it in their muscle tissue and in their liver. And when they need it, they use up this glucose, this energy. You burn it up during normal activities, dressing, bathing, working, everything. And actually, just a tip here, whenever you eat a meal, it's good if you go for like a 10-minute walk just because your muscle tissue will work kind of like a sponge. It'll lower it down. It'll suck up a lot of that glucose from the meal you just ate. That'll actually help you not gain as much weight, especially after you've eaten a big meal. That's why around Thanksgiving or Christmas, when I have those big meals with the family, I usually go for like a hour walk with somebody, talk, and then come back to the house. Otherwise, all that'll just go into lipogenesis and get stored here. So how much of that body fat can you store? It's literally limitless. I've seen people in the 500-600 pound range, and it just goes to show you can actually store and store. So there's actually no limit. Obviously you won't go much higher because you reach a point where you're so heavy, you start doing damage to your body and you can cause a heart attack and you die. But it's not because you reach capacity and you can stop storing. You can actually keep storing indefinitely. The thing is, can your body, can your lungs, can your heart support all that extra tissue? Then has to give oxygen to nutrients and keep working. You reach a point where basically everything just stops working and you die if you gain too much weight. So when do starches actually turn into fat? Okay, so you eat starches, like let's say you eat some potatoes, some rice, you break it down, you separate the sugars, you use the glucose, and like I said, if you don't use it all up, you go through lipogenesis, you start to store it. So when does your body actually start turning starch into fat? So basically you ate your meals, you went through your day, you exercised, you went to work, and at the end of the day, let's say you did this much exercise, but you ate this much in terms of energy, calories. So you have a discrepancy, you ate too much. So then at that point, all your glycogen stores, which is the way you store energy, are full. You don't have anywhere to put it. Your storage tanks are full. So glucose you use in your blood. Glycogen is a readily available form of glucose, which is in your muscle. And then after that, you have body fat. So you have enough glucose to move around, to talk, for me to make this video. I have enough extra glycogen, which is the backup energy in my muscles. Now my body's gonna go to the third storage area, which is fat. It's gonna start storing it. So not until you surpass that amount. That's why when you over-consume calories, you slowly start building up body weight. Even if it's from lettuce, tomatoes, carrots, steaks, fish, or donuts. It's just a matter of, did you consume more calories that you actually need for the day? Now, if you're overweight or you're trying to lose weight, should you avoid beans? No. And let me explain why. Beans are different. Beans are special. And if you watch my videos, you know how much I love beans. They're like the perfect food. Yes, they are high in sugar, or starches, I should say, but they're also high in fiber and protein, minerals, vitamins, everything. You can pretty much live off beans. They're like the perfect food. So what that does is when you eat it, let's say I eat a donut, or I eat a Mars bar, or a Snickers bar. The processed sugar, or the donut, or the pastry, it causes my glucose to go way up, my sugar, my blood sugar. Your body releases insulin. That is like a Pac-Man. It eats up the sugar, bring it down to normal. And oftentimes it produces more insulin than you actually need. So then you actually get hungrier and you'll actually eat more if you eat those processed sugars. Now, if you eat like beans, yes, they have starch, but your body is gonna break it down very slowly because of all the fiber. It's locked in the fiber. So you don't actually get that spike at all. And you still get the energy you need, the starch. That's why it's kind of like a double benefit. You get the starch you need, but you also get the protein, the fiber, the vitamins, the minerals, the antioxidants, all these benefits. In fact, a cup of pinto beans has more antioxidants than a cup of blueberries, but it costs less than 1%. So beans, awesome. Even though they have starch, it's not gonna cause any kind of weight gain, cause any issues with you. I eat it virtually every day. I eat beans. I add a cup at least once or twice a day to my meals. So beans are considered a low glycemic index food. So what are beans? They're legumes. It's a family of black beans, pinto beans, red beans, navy beans, chickpeas, lentils, every other type of bean you could think of, split pea soup. Those are all beans or legumes, and they have many nutrients in them. They're very nutritious, and I highly recommend them for weight loss, muscle building, anti-aging, just about everything. Now, if you're overweight or trying to lose weight, then what types of starches should you limit? Potatoes, processed potatoes like mashed potato, French fries, hash browns, pastries, sugary cereals, refined pastas, white bread, rices. Why? Because all of those have starch, but they don't have a lot of fiber. So when you eat it, again, it makes your blood sugar go way up. That's why if you're diabetic, your doctor's always gonna tell you, don't eat pasta, don't eat potatoes, don't eat rice. they don't have a lot of sugar, but they do have sugar in the sense that it's, again, stored as a starch. So it's actually concentrated. It can actually be worse. Another thing, because those foods are low in fiber and low in protein, they don't fill you up. You don't feel hungry. You actually feel like you want to eat more and more. Again, you eat some pasta or you eat some rice or potatoes, your sugar's gonna spike. Sugar's gonna spike to here. Your insulin might spike to here, even higher. So you're gonna burn up all that sugar and then you're gonna want more. It's gonna make you eat more. So it's an easy way to gain weight. There's people that I meet that are 300, 400, 500 pounds and they're eating rice, they're eating pasta, they're eating potato every day. Not a good idea if you're trying to lose weight. In general, I don't eat those foods. I just try to avoid them just because nobody needs big sugar spikes. It makes you age faster. You don't want those big spikes in glucose. You want your sugar to be kind of moderate or level throughout the day. That's why you want to eat high fiber foods, low glycemic foods throughout the day. If, for example, you're craving some sugar, eat a fruit, eat an apple or an orange or banana. At least it has vitamins, minerals, and it has some fiber in it. So it'll actually slow the sugar spike. It's still gonna spike a little bit, but not as bad as if you eat something that's processed or full of starch, which is, again, condensed sugar. Now, what type of starches can you eat strategically? Now, starches are good. These are the good ones. You can eat oatmeal, you can eat buckwheat, you can eat quinoa. If you like potatoes, eat sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are great. And I really love these. I have to share these. These are purple sweet potatoes. You can see the difference in the color. Here's the purple and the sweet potato on there. You see the difference in the color. Now, my Thai friends brought these sweet potatoes over for Thanksgiving, and I am just addicted to them. They're awesome. And the color looks almost fake. Looks like something out of a cartoon. They're so bright. These are just as good, if not better, as the regular sweet potatoes. They have a different set of chemicals in them, a different set of vitamins and minerals, nutrients. Both are good. This one is slightly better, and the taste is amazing. You can just eat them like candy throughout the day. So I'm hooked on these. I buy these purple sweet potatoes regularly, and I eat them with my meals. They're very nutritious. I just want to show the color in case you want to show a kind of a close-up, okay? You can splice this and edit it as you need, but I want to show the color. So what are the best starches to eat? Beans, legumes, all types. Awesome. Non-starchy vegetables, whole grains like quinoa, oatmeal, buckwheat, barley. Those are really good. And if you want to eat bread, like I didn't eat any bread and I like bread, I started buying Ezekiel bread. This is probably the best commercial bread you can buy. Has no flour, no sugar. They're sprouted grains, it's whole grains, it's made out of lentils and buckwheat and all these really awesome spelt, all these different grains that they grind up. So it's low glycemic index, it's good, and I can make a nice sandwich. Obviously, if you can make your own bread, that's even better, but I don't always have time to do that, so that's a good alternative. I was at a health and fitness expo this weekend. They have these donuts, and I have to say, they were pretty good. They're called Legendary Donuts, and I'm sure there's a bunch of other ones, but low glycemic index, actually no sugar, low carbs, low starch, all that. Not necessarily the best thing to eat because it is a refined and processed food, but let's say you absolutely want a donut. I haven't had a donut in a long time. I don't need donuts. It's just too much damage. But I looked at this and I thought, God, I kind of feel like having a donut. I looked at the ingredients and I said, hey, this is actually pretty good. They're not terrible. So I had this. So, this is a good alternative. If you have a strong craving for some type of candy or sweets, it's better to just satisfy that craving. You're going to want it more. And this is a good alternative rather than going to Winchell's or, Dunkin' Donuts or stuff like that. This is going to be much worse for you. Just a general rule, if the starch comes with protein and fiber, then you're probably fine. That usually comes in things that are whole, like whole foods. But if you're eating something refined, like donuts or, Pop-Tarts, then it's not going to be good for weight loss. You're going to gain weight. So hopefully this helps you understand the different types of carbs and how you should eat them, or starches, I should say. And yes, it's okay to eat starches, and you should eat starches. They're part of a healthy diet. It'll help you lose weight. It's good for performance. You just have to pick the right ones. So thank you for watching. And from Los Angeles, California, this is Dr. Ernesto. Thank you and goodbye.